Michael, thank you for taking time with us at Off the Block Blog. Congratulations on your quarterfinal win over UCLA. What are your initial impressions?
You know, it started out kind of as a bit of a sloppy game, back and forth, and then it was just a good win. It took a big team effort tonight. It took a lot of point-to-point capitalization in order to make sure that we were playing our game, and this one feels really good, really good.
UCLA has been playing with different lineups all season long. They started Ma tonight as well as Sprague. How did you guys prepare, knowing that you really didn't know what lineup John was going to throw at you guys?
Well, it kind of plays into how we play the game, right? So the thing about UCLA is they have a bunch of phenomenal athletes, a bunch of really good players, ranging from Jake Arness to Micah Ma, Misery. I mean, all these guys can play really high-level volleyball. But when you have all those switches, you can't necessarily focus on every little meticulous detail that they will change around. For us, it was going to be a consistent, okay, we have our system, we know what we do, and we're going to play our game. So, yeah, there will be micro changes when you have a different guy come in, but the reality is that our game, we play Irvine volleyball, that's going to be good enough to beat any team. And so that's what we focus on, not changing every little possible detail in order to cater to what they're doing. Thank you.
Let's talk about your teammates. Aaron had a little bit of a slow start tonight, but he finished, I believe, with 19 kills. Comment on his performance and what he's meant to the team turning the season around.
He's been incremental, to say the least. He's a great kid. He loves the sport. He was just the unfortunate recipient of a shoulder that really kept him down for a couple years. But he's healthy now, and he's playing, and he loves playing. I kind of joke around with him that I hope his first two swings he gets blocked, because then you get the animal inside of him. And so I think you saw that tonight. The first set, whether it was his best, maybe not, passing, serving, whatever it may be, he came alive. And that's what we need, and that's what I know is going to be there, especially in a long match against a good team. So I never lose confidence in Aaron. That's a great component to have in one of your good hitters.
I know there's a question probably more for Mark or for Nif, but I'll ask you. Why do you think you guys went with Reed as the serving sub tonight as opposed to Kukula?
Yeah, well, the thing about Reed when he comes in, he's just a stabilizer. It's kind of funny because, you think of a server that comes in and can just serve. Reed is our next option off the bench in terms of being an outside hitter that can play the whole game. So he closet comes in and hits 800. So he's a phenomenal player for us, and at the end of the match when we needed him, he came in and played almost the entire fourth set and played lights out. He passes well, he serves aggressively, makes digs, and puts the ball away. So he's a phenomenal player, and Tucker's there, and we have him, and he's phenomenal at serving, and so we have both, and that's just great that we can flip either way.
Hodges had 10 kills, but he had 6 errors. What kind of competitor is he to fight through that?
He is just an incredible competitor. He's a phenomenal player, and he's had a lot of international experience and a lot of good game time experience. I didn't have my best setting night tonight, and I let a couple get away from me that I think put him in some bad situations. But the fact of the matter is he's a great player, and he finds his way out of those. So I know that even though he can get blocked 6 times in a row, and I know he's still going to be there. He's a great competitor. He really, truly wants the ball. And at the end of the day, the Australian just says, let me have a slap. And sometimes you just got to let him do that.
If I told you that you guys were going to have 0 aces tonight and still win, what would you have said?
I would have said that we probably got him out of system a lot. And, that's what we came in and what we wanted to do. They're a phenomenal team if they can run the middle of the court. The reality is they can run a quick BIC at a very high hitting percentage. And they have a lot of options. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the game, they were running the middle very well. And if we can up our service game, we don't have to get aces. We just have to take them out of system so that our game gets simplified. And when we do that, then we can become a better blocking and defensively team. So that's kind of what we focused on as we were pulling them off the net. I like aces and they're fun, but I'll take a win any day.
Scott Static was named Freshman of the Year in the conference. He was obviously the #1 recruit coming out of high school, but what have you seen that has surprised you, even with all the high accolades that he came in with?
He fights for everyone else on the court. You don't know what a guy's going to be like. You know that he's 7 foot. You know that he's physical and he's athletic for someone his size. but he's just a good guy. He wants to compete. He wants to get better, and he wants to be there for the senior class, and he wants to do whatever he can to make sure that we get a trophy at the end of the year. And that is, he's the selfless mindset that he has and the ability to play point to point as a middle is incremental to our success.
And the short shorts on him really look short, don't they?
They make me look a little longer with my shorts, which is probably a good thing because we all look pretty shorted out there.
You know that now you'll be playing in Long Beach, and you will be playing Long Beach in the semifinal. Preview that match for us.
They're a great team, and I think the same thing is going to hold true to what we said tonight. That's a team that if they're in system, they're really good. They have a phenomenal setter in Josh Uninga. They've got, TJ Falco, obviously phenomenal player, NPSF Player of the Year. NSYNC, their middles are doing really great right now. So if you can simplify the game by getting them out of system, serving aggressively, then that's where we're going to come into our comfort zone, and that's where we're going to operate at the highest level. So the reality is they're a good team, but I think that if you put Irvine's best volleyball in front of them, they're going to have a tough time against us.
You said you were recruited by Spera to come to UCI. So, what kind of emotions did you have tonight with that? Also, this might be your last night here or it is your last night at the Bren.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's a weird. The stones kind of fell all into place on this one. It's a match that hits me to the heart. Spera did recruit me. He's a phenomenal coach. I practiced under him in the national team gym, and I really respect him not only as a coach but as a mentor. And so I couldn't have nicer things to say about him. But this was one I wanted to win. Like you said, this could have been my last match of the year, and I really didn't want that to happen, and I don't think any of us did. And so I think that came out in our point-to-point mentality, and it's just good to get a win at home.
And last question for you. The last interview I did with you, you introduced to us the legend of Prescio. Yeah. How has the legend continued to grow since we last spoke?
We have a little saying on our bench. If you're ever in a game and you don't have confidence, you just look to Prescio. He emanates confidence from his being, the person that he is. We just gave our senior speeches this past weekend at one of our senior banquet, and I had to take time to just thank him. He's been there for my whole career, and to be honest, he works a full-time job and doesn't need to be there. And he always finds a way to make sure that we're disseminating winstings, is what we call it, for what Mark Prescio does. And I couldn't think of enough. He couldn't be more incremental to what we do and who we are as a team.
Well, thank you for taking time with us off the Block blog.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for growing the game, and please continue to follow everyone as the playoffs get along. It's game time.